My name is Rogelio Lozano. I play guitar, original member for the band Downset. I've been on the first album, the third album, and now I'm back for the sixth album. So in between there, I missed a couple albums there, but I missed 3 albums. I was doing other things. I was in other bands. I played with Cypress Hill and Power Flow and Cutthroat, LA Cutthroat, and I just ended up doing other things. I was doing a lot of studio work with DJ Muggs, in from 2000 to 2010, and then worked with other bands in the next 5 years. And in 2015, I formed Power Flow with Sendog, and we went on a run to we formed that in 2015, and then recorded the album 2017. Went on a run 2018 for a year, and then took some time off of Power Flow, and then that's when Ray got in touch with me, and we hadn't spoken in quite a long time. I'd say about 10 years. Mm-hmm. And we had some issues that we needed to bury some hatchets and get rid of some old resentment and be friends again. And within those conversations, Downset came up, and we decided to give it another shot. And so that was 2020. So within 2020 and 2022, right now, we started from scratch. We recorded a demo. Our manager shopped it. This is through the pandemic. Got the record deal in the summer, and then went into pre-production within that year, and then recorded, tracked in March, and then mixed it and did all the vocals in June. And here we are now. It took 2 years. It was 2 years in the making, since from the very first idea of actually doing album number 6 till today, and tomorrow is going to be the release. And if you would have asked me, hey, you're going to do another, if you would ask me 2 years ago, if I was going to do another Downset, not in a million years, man, not in it's a long time, no way. But it's crazy when you say, that old saying, never say never. Never say never, man. Because I said never a few times. I'm never gonna do this. I'm never gonna do another album with Downset. I don't think it's gonna happen. And next thing you know, everything just started to fall into place. It's strange how it works, but even the far-fetched things were just happening. Everything that can happen smoothly went right for this. And we're really happy with the outcome of the songs and the recording, and just really happy to be a part of Nuclear Blast. It's been so good to us, and we're getting old, man, and so we forget a lot of stuff, and I've been forgetting a lot of interviews, and sometimes I look at these sheets that they send me, these sheets and docs, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to from the old school where manager calls me and he tells me, get a pen and write down your interviews, and so this is new for me. This whole I pretty much missed every interview so far.
Oh wow, I'm the lucky one.
Except you and this morning.
I'm the lucky one then.
I feel like I feel embarrassed about it, but I'm getting old and I can't see as much anymore, and these things are small, and I work out of my iPhone sometimes, but it's been a fun challenge, and I'm learning a lot again, getting back into being signed on the label again. It's been a long time. Power Flow was on New Damage Records, small label from Canada, but it's not like Nuclear Blast. Nuclear Blast is like a major label, and we hadn't had that type of attention since we were on Mercury, Polygram, and Island Def Jam, and Epitaph, and so getting back on a label with the good people and a really good record company, it's really exciting, and it just makes me work harder, and I'm really appreciative of everything they're doing, promotion campaign. I couldn't be more thankful.
Very good, mate. Well, thanks for joining us today, mate. It's a pleasure. Thanks for remembering me, I should say.
Oh man, Shoot. Yeah. Well, it's like I said, man. It's a lot of this is new for me, and I'm glad I was able to catch you right now. And uh, yeah, man. And thank you so much for having me on your show.
My absolute pleasure, my friend. So today, like, it's just weird. Like the album, your sixth album, Maintain, comes out today in Australia, but it's still yesterday for you over there. So it comes out on June the 10th, mate. So tell us a bit about it musically and what you were going for with it.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize that it's released in a lot of parts in the world now.
And we get it before you do. How's that feel?
Yeah, that's killer, man. I still haven't seen a copy of the album or anything. I just have my tracks on what is it? What do I have them down in here? And it's what's this thing called? Dropbox.
You're like me, brother. I'm a dinosaur too. I just cannot get my head around this shit.
So yeah, I just have my tracks on Dropbox, and I've been listening to that for the last 5 months, and just all I could say about this is when we went to the drawing board, we already decided we're gonna do album 6, and Ray and I, we were thinking along the same lines. Let's bring back that old school groove, like that at Bought to Blast and that Anger. Let's bring back that old sound. And so I've been talking about this a lot in some of the interviews that I've been doing. But what really sticks out is that when we recorded the very first demos, we did it in Drop C, and then when we went in to record the first album, somehow, some way, we ended up by default in Drop C sharp. And then for the rest of the next 5 albums, it was all Drop C sharp. Some songs were in B and standard, drop standard, but for the most part, our sound became Drop C sharp. But that was not our original sound. Our original sound was Drop C, and it's a big difference, whole big difference. And so we decided to record some songs in Drop C, other songs in Drop C sharp, and then lyrically, Ray's still about the same stuff he's been about from back in the day. He's a little more mature, and much more mature, and he was really taking note, making sure that his lyrics were responsible and uplifting. And that was the theme for the whole album, as far as lyrics, and it's just keep your spirit up, do things legally, try to stay out of jail. We have a lot of friends that are in and out, like they're out on parole and they have kids, and right away they go into selling drugs, and
because it's
and
just
right away,
all they know.
That's a ticket right back in violating your parole. It's right. You're gonna go right back to jail. Your kids are gonna end up with the state. So, and on the song "The Place to Be," that's what he talks about. He talks about his friend that had recently paroled. He's in his graffiti crew called UTI, and they've been around for a long time. So there is a few songs that tie in together. I think 3 songs. It's Ray writes different than most guys I've ever worked with. A lot of the things that he writes about can have dual meaning, or he'll have a song that has 3 different subjects intertwined, and at the end tying in together. And this album, he has 3 songs where he's talking to his friend in certain parts of the verse.
Right.
And he keeps trying to tell him to keep your spirits up. Don't be, because the guy is depressed, and he has kids, and he keeps telling him, hey man, I'm here, I'm with you. And if it's, and he'll say it Place to Be, and he'll say it on Won't Forget, and then New Respect, and Wreck It. They all have, he talks about graffiti. He goes into a political issue, then he goes into his friend again. And another song, he talks about love. So lyrically, it's just we just the Maintain title track. It was inspired through the pandemic. We when we were demoing to try to shop this demo to get the record deal on Nuclear Blast, we got thrown out of the studio because it was the first lockdown and we didn't know what the hell was going on, and so our files were locked in the studio for 5 months and we couldn't come back in until the summer, and so we just had to hold it down, man. We had to maintain and hold fast, and basically it's almost like the Madball album, Hold It Down. It's kind of almost the same meaning. It's like maintain it, keep it together, and everything's gonna happen positively and everything's gonna fall into place if you have a positive mind and you're optimistic. You got to be optimistic and positive for all the things that you want to happen. Anybody, our band, our friends, our work. You got to visualize the success. You got to visualize yourself going through the hardships, but winning, and then getting success. And then you have to, we have to think that way, because if you don't, we're not going to be able to finish an album. We're not going to be able to finish a song. A lot of the responsibilities that we have within the band, it takes it's a job. It's 24/7. Rock and roll is 24/7. There's no days off. So that's the way I look at it. And so, yeah, and in a nutshell, man, this album, completed in 2 years. We're really, really, really happy, and finally the day has come, and I can't believe the day has finally come, because it was like, it's gonna come out on June 10th, and that was last year, and I was thinking, man, almost 8 months away. Wow, what a wait. But hey, that's what they wanted to do, and they have the reasons, and now I see the whole picture and understand why they do release the way they do, and set things up the way they do. And it's that side of the business, sometimes I'm blind to that because it's just not what I do, and so when I see it happening, sometimes I don't understand it, but I got to trust the people I'm working with, and it comes through, and that's when I learn from, and I say, I get it now, so here we are, man. June 10th.
June 10th here, tomorrow over there. So you mentioned, man, that you played with these other bands in the meantime. Like, was it easy to come back and slip straight back into the Downset style of playing and the Downset sound, or did you have to sort of work back on it?
It was tough in the beginning, but it only lasted, a few days, and everything just started coming back. The old templates that we used to use, we didn't use that many. We used like 3-song templates that, they're a signature for, how we write our songs. And with other bands and other musical productions that, other projects and that I record with the, other bands and other projects, my solo stuff. And music comes, is written differently. There's no one way, but with Downset, it was just, we stuck to this formula. It's a very simple formula, and so reminiscing, and then just really concentrating, and trying to remember, visualizing, it all comes back. It all came back. It's like riding your old bike that you built, and you built those gears, and how it works, and when to change those gears because you built it, and only how. And so when I jumped back on that bike, it was like, I remember this. Yep. And so it just started to work. We had Nick Jett producing for us, and he made it a lot easier. He's probably the best producer that Downset has ever had. Not taking anything away from Roy Z, but this time around we decided to go with Nick Jett, and and Nick is super talented. He's a drummer. He's an engineer. He plays drums for Terror. He's an engineer. He's